right, we'll go ahead and get started here. Front right with Gerald.
Hey, Grayson, Joe Bourget, PHX Sports. Good to see you.
You too.
I'm just curious. You've been a starter for most of your career. Obviously, you helped recruit Tyus Jones to come here. How are you kind of approaching what'll likely be a six-man role with the team this year?
Yeah, I mean, had a great year last year, and I feel like I've gotten better. So, me looking at Tyus being the starter like that, I just feel like our team got a lot better. Like, I'm still the same player, better player. So, I'm happy our team got a lot better. I'm happy Tyus is on our team. I'm looking forward to how we look out there, having him as our point guard. I couldn't be more excited to have him on our team, and I'm okay with what comes with that.
Sorry about that. I got it. Grayson, just to follow up with that, you obviously became a full-time starter, not just this year, but by the last 3 years. So that
Yeah.
conversation you had with Mike about that, because you started for him. So what was that like, and what was like maybe how you guys talked that out, or what were those conversations like in that regard?
I think he knew I would be good with it, so I gave him a hard time, just jokingly. uh, but there wasn't much of a conversation. I think we're gonna have a great team with Tyus out there as the point guard. And I know we had a lot of talks last year about like, does this team need a point guard? Uh, and a lot of times I was kind of the guy who thought no, but there's not many guys out there like Tyus. Not a whole lot of point guards out there that play like Tyus. So I really think he is the perfect fit for our team. I think our team is better with him at the point. So I didn't give him a lot of pushback. It was a pretty quick conversation.
Grayson, Kellen Olson, Arizona Sports. Great to see you again. I've noticed you have bulked up, I guess, as the phrase goes. What was the intentionality behind that, just with basketball in mind specifically?
Uh, yeah, I mean, each off season I've put on a little bit of muscle. And this off season I started lifting a little bit sooner than I have in the past. So a little bit of it was unintentional. But the goal for me ever since 4 years ago now, when I had my hip injury, was just continue to build strength, lower body, have a good base. And so a little bit for me, I've always felt good with a little bit more strength, a little bit more weight, a little bit more muscle. So I know my I think my listed weight is still like 195 or something, but I'm nowhere close to that. So around 230. So we might need to finally update that.
You ever see notice score 195 and 2? Fill it all.
So a lot of just like game to game soreness. I feel like being stronger helps with that. Being able to guard bigger guys, being stronger helps with that. And then like I've had a lot of little injuries, hamstring injuries, hip injuries, all that throughout my career. And last season, like each year I've gotten stronger. I've played more games, played more minutes. Last year being 75 games, at I think over 30 minutes a game. So I just think having that base of strength has helped me a lot with durability throughout a season.
Grayson, Doug Howler at The Athletic. Good to see you. Earlier, Matt Ishbia was talking about how great a fit Coach Bud was for this team. You've been with him. Why do you think he's a good fit for this Suns team?
Well, he preaches a lot of threes, and I know that's something we want to get more up, and was a weak point of our team last year, and the attempts that we got up. We have a lot of great shooters. We just need to find ways to get more attempts up. I think his personality and coaching style fits the team really well. He's obviously a great coach, very experienced, a championship coach. So I think he's perfect for our team, our goals, and what we feel like we need to do.
Grayson, Richard Science, Fox 10, good to see you again. You kind of touched on the chemistry of this team, and you go out and kind of recruit Tyus, and Bradley Beal said it's going to help him. just talk about the chemistry on this team and how you feel about this team moving forward. Coach talked about guys were working out, you guys were kind of hooping up, already before this camp even starts.
Yeah, I mean, I think with our group, continuity just is going to help tremendously. Last season, a little tougher because of injuries for a team that was pretty new, put together, like to not be able to get those reps in. So having a year, a full season under our belt with some of the guys that were added last year, being able to work a few weeks before training camp, like last year, my first time stepping on the court in the practice facility was day one of training camp. So I think all that helps. All that helps with our chemistry, the way we want to play offensively, the way we want to communicate defensively and cover for each other defensively. Like you have to have some sense of chemistry and togetherness. So time always helps with that.
Hey, Grayson, Brendan Gleam, Locked On Suns podcast. You mentioned right when you sat down you want to be an even better player this year. What other things, aside from the physical stuff you were talking about with Kellen, do you think you're going to be able to bring this year that we haven't seen before?
I've done a lot of screening and rolling in the preseason, which is a little new for me. But I think if kind of you look around the league, a lot of teams that are having success offensively kind of have positionless basketball. And I think that will help with a lot of our switching is matchup dependent guys setting screens, but not just setting screens to get the switch, but setting the screens to get an attack out of it, being a good screener, having angles, and then just continuing to improve offensively, like being a secondary playmaker. I know a lot of games, like once you start getting run off the 3-point line, you have to be a decision maker in the paint. So last year I felt like I did a pretty good job. I need to be a part of cutting down on turnovers. So need to be a low turnover guy, very efficient guy, passing the ball or scoring the guy in the paint.
Grayson. Hey there, Bob Hewd from Associated Press. Good to see you again. A lot of talk about the team shooting more threes. I'm thinking if there's anyone on this team that might be really happy about that, would be you.
Yeah.
Will that change your game at all, though? Because what you seem to do is just take what's given to you. But now with the emphasis on more threes, where you try to just intentionally shoot more, just keep that mindset of just whatever happens within the game.
Yeah, it's a balance. Like I'd love to say like I want to get 9 threes up a game. It's really hard to do. And so I think there is a balance between like when you're on the court with Kev, Book, Brad, there's all these weapons around you. Like I could easily get out there and just have the mindset of getting a lot of threes up. But a lot of times there's a better shot on the floor, which is last year. I feel like I did a good job instead of forcing some of them getting into the paint. And most of the time, if you get into the paint, draw an extra defender, it ends up for a 3 for someone else. But I think everyone on the team, all the shooters on the team are definitely going to have a mindset of getting more up. So that might be earlier in the clock. It might be off the dribble and the pick and roll instead of the bigs and drop coverage. Nurk's a great screener, finding those pocket threes, stuff like that. So, I hope that I get more up, but I hope us as a team, we're in the top 5 of attempts around the league.
Hey, Grayson, Shane Young with Forbes. I'm just curious, playing with tius at Duke and Memphis, in what ways do you see that he's going to be able to create advantages for you and then also the Big Three?
He's that guy that when you play with, you always have to be ready for the ball. He kicks it ahead early. He always makes the right, simple, easy play. He's a great passer, so he can make the tough passes too. I think kind of underrated is his threat to be a scorer off the pick and roll, which is what allows him to be such a good passer. But you always got to be ready to get the ball early. And he creates a lot of opportunities for the guys around him to play off of closeouts. So when he has the ball, it's those early kick aheads. If he sees anyone helping, he's pitching the ball, and that creates opportunities for us to be ready to catch and shoot or be ready to play with a little bit of an advantage because you have a guy flying at you.
Okay, I didn't know.
You already
know,
got your question.
I need another one. Thank you, sir. Your question about top 5 teams shooting threes, you made me get on the internet and look up. Boston led the league at 42.5. Milwaukee was 5th, 38.1. You guys attempted 32 threes last year. Do you see that top 5 number you guys can reach? That would be 6 more threes, 6 to 8 more threes.
Yeah, it's one extra person in the top 6 players. It's not that crazy to think about.
Thanks, Grayson.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Grayson.